So this is where the rail section is for Sheffield. They got the big train, which is one we'll go on.
Yeah, like little garden centre box.
They've also got a miniature railway which runs if there's volunteers around. Oh look, the train's in the station.
We arrived a bit too late for the first departure of the steam train, so we decided to go for a walk down to the miniature railways and have a look at what's to offer there.
Are they all different gauges?
Yes, that's N gauge.
Yep.
Oh, okay. 730 up there.
Yep.
This is 888.
So who has the patience to do all the building?
This one and that one and some of the other. All a little bit.
One of the things we love about travelling is finding out the stories behind areas, and the Sheffield Steam Heritage Museum is no different. A group of guys got together and bought the rusted out engine that you see in front of you and restored it using two different engines that they managed to find. So you turn an engine. Make sure you keep watching. One of the volunteers will tell us the stories behind the Steam Heritage Museum and behind the engine and all the rolling stock that's at the site. Stay tuned.
Ticket. Take a seat. We'll come and get your tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what's the history of this engine?
So it's a Krauss locomotive built in Munich in 1906. It came out with about 50 Krauss locomotives operating in Tasmania. It's the only one still running. It used to, the main part of it used to operate down in Hobart, or south of Hobart, at a place called Sandfly. There was a colliery down there. When that finished up, it then went a bit further south down to a place called Loon River, where there was a limestone mine, and it used to pull the empty carts back up to the mine. It was a downhill run, so basically it braked all the way down. There was a deep water port there, and they would load it onto the thing, take it back to Sydney, the limestone back to Hobart, and then the locomotive would just pull all the empty carriages back up to the mine. When I think the bottom dropped out of the market, it got scrapped for a while, and they took a lot of the bits off it. And then a group of 4 friends who worked at the railway workshops together, they got sick of seeing everything getting scrapped, and they decided they were going to restore things. So they got the locomotive from Loon River, worked out all the bits that were missing, found another locomotive on the west coast that had also been partially scrapped, and between the two of them, they built this one. So it's mostly, the maker's plate that's on it is from 5892, and it's mostly 5892.
Is the other one that's in the yard the other one that they used for parts?
No, the other one, it was scratched. Like a lot of, they basically just got scratched. For a long time, they never thought that they were big. The other one, that's like the really rusty one that you see as you go through, that's actually Harry, the train driver. That's his newest project. He's also working on the Hunslet, which is nearly restored, that's in the loco sheds if you want to go and have a look at it.
Nice looking shed.
Yeah, so this was restored. It first ran at a place called Corolla outside of Launceston, and it started running in 1972, just purely as their hobby. And they built all the carriages and all the rolling stock in there. I'm just trying to think, when we came up here, the early 90s, they relocated up here and opened it up as a tourist. But it's all volunteers. Everyone you see here today is a volunteer. Harry actually works on the West Coast Wilderness Railway now, so he's a professional train driver but a volunteer here today.
Yeah, we did that.
10 days ago, maybe?
Oh, did you? Yeah.
The Rukadina Rainforest one.
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Geez, that was good.
Yeah. That was so good.
Marshall compound traction engine, to give you a perspective of size. I'm 6 foot tall. That's a massive wheel. It's a steam tractor. We've got a lot more here than I expected.
Steamroller.
Look at how the chain mechanism works underneath it.
Steer it. The only way you get that to turn, I'd say.
It's got that chain steering as well.
Yeah, simple, isn't it? Got a worm drive there up to the steering wheel. Comes there through and turns that around either way, which way you turn it. Little worm drive.
This is a massive, massive steam tractor.
There's some of these steampunk shoes.
I wonder what that was used for. Say again?
Someone's been checking the wall thickness of this boiler. They've gridded it out and they've got thickness measurements 9.93, 10, 9.2. Looking for corrosion inside.
Huh.
Let's make sure it's still within compliance.
In front they've got thicknesses too, 15.4 and 15.3.
Yeah, just making sure it's got to be pressure, withstand pressure, I suppose.
And then from that attaches this front end.
Love the brass on that big roller.
Beauty. Steamroller.
While we were visiting, we noticed a young man hanging around at the miniature railway, and he does volunteer as well. He took the miniature line around for a ride after we did this loop. He was quite a nice young man, and it was great to see that the volunteers are nurturing the teenagers to come through the ranks. It's $10 entry to come in and have a steam ride, and you can go and have a look at the model trains if there's somebody there. There was today, as you saw.
And the workshop.
And the workshop. That's part of the museum, that's all open. The miniature railway depends on whether they've got volunteers, and that's another $3 per person. Cash or card. Yeah, really good fun.
It's great fun, yeah.
Volunteers are great at giving you a bit of information too.
Yep.
Well worth coming and doing. We hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you found this informative or entertaining, please like, subscribe or drop us a comment. In our next episode, we're going to take you to Deloraine, where we stay at another donation camp and show you around the sculptures and all the sites around Deloraine.
It's the best life that we've ever